The NPA says it's still investigating several cases relating to alleged corruption in the Joburg Metro, after News 24 reported several weeks ago that senior prosecutors had stopped the prosecution of the CEO of the Johannesburg Development Agency, Themba Mathibe. News 24 said that 2 million rand in cash was seized from Mathibe and that this money was believed to be the proceeds of crime. Kaizer Kganyago is the new spokesperson at the National Prosecuting Authority. Kaizer, good afternoon to you and thank you for your time. Okay, so there was this report by News 24. It suggested the NPA was not acting on the case, that the prosecutor had essentially stopped the case for the moment. What action has the new head of the NPA, Andy Mathibe, taken since he came into office on this issue?
Thank you very much, Stephen, and thank you to the viewers at home. When this matter came up in the News 24 articles, then the NDPP advocate Andy Mathibe then ordered an urgent internal investigation so that we can look at all of these accusations that were put forward. And the first one was in relation to the JDA boss. We then, he asked the Office of Ethics and Accountability at the NPA to look at it. And then they looked at the docket and they found that no, there is no sinister anything that is happening at the moment. And the fact that there is, in the article, they are talking about an amount of 2 million that was seized at the house, which was not correct. What is in the docket is less than 500,000 rand, and the matter is still underway. But to say that nothing has been done is not correct, because this matter was then reported to the SCCU, which is the Specialized Commercial Crimes Unit. And when they looked at it, they found that it does not fit the mandate that they have in terms of complexity and also in terms of the amount. Therefore, they referred it to the lower court. And then it has now appeared in the Alexandra Magistrate Court on the 28th of January. And that is why there is a bail of 50,000 that was put against this particular accused.
Okay, so the case is proceeding from the NPA. You're still going ahead with the prosecution?
Yes, the case is going on, and we can assure the public that everything that needs to be done has been done, and we will follow up on this case going forward.
There was another detail in the original News 24 story which is not addressed in your statement, and I don't know if you can answer this for us, but the story mentioned that Themba Mathibe had actually said he had received the money. It wasn't 2 million rand, as you've confirmed, at 500,000 rand, but that he had received the money from 2 members of the mayoral committee in Joburg. So the claim in that story is that 2 senior politicians in Joburg had given him this cash. Do you know if that's true?
Yeah, this is part of the investigation that is going on, and that is why we are saying that we do not want to interfere in the investigation that is ensuing, because the reason why the matter has now been postponed is purely because the investigation has to go on. One of the allegations, for example, was that the money was gotten out of a heist. And we are still having to look into all of those issues when the investigation happens. Therefore, all of that will be dealt with, and if he has got evidence and information, then it's very important that the investigators are able to deal with that.
So Kaizer, just to make sure I understand this, are you able to confirm that the NPA is investigating 2 members of the mayoral committee in Joburg?
No, we can't say to you who we are investigating. We are saying if anybody has got an allegation, it has to be put through so that it can follow all the processes before the matters can be taken back, because until that happens, it remains an allegation.
Okay, sure. Thank you for the clarity. I appreciate it. There's another story you're responding. It's also from News 24. It's about an investigation into Johannesburg City Power. There's been a lot of movement there. The CEO actually left recently. We know the SIU had raided there. She denies her departure has anything to do with that raid. The NPA was preventing, the sort of claim in the News 24 story was that the NPA was making it harder for investigators from getting warrants. In other words, I presume prosecutors weren't signing warrants. Is that claim true?
No, that claim is not true. Like I said, it was part of the investigation that the national director put up, and then it found that there was nothing that is being compromised. But we are looking at that, and the NDPP has said very clearly that he is putting premium on the ethical conduct and accountability of prosecutors. If there's anything that is found to have been done that is not in accordance with their oath of office, then you will have to deal with them, because their oath of office is very clear that they need to prosecute without fear, favor, and prejudice. Therefore, that matter is being dealt with. We are monitoring it very closely, and we checking on how the progress is going as the office of the NDPP, and make sure that everything is done in accordance, because he clearly indicated that he wants things to run smoothly, but he is not going to rush it and compromise the quality of the investigation.
Kaizer, I realize you're just a couple of days into the job, and in fact your boss, Andy Mathibe, has been at the NPA now, I think, for a month and 4 days. I know you worked with him there before at the SIU, but let me put this question to you, and if you want to answer that, you don't have a mandate to answer it, that's fine. We all know the problems that we've seen in the NPA. We know the difficult history. We know what happened when Shimila Batohi was leaving the organization. At this stage, do you know if the National Director of Public Prosecutions, Advocate Andy Mathibe, has any set of priorities, things he wants to achieve in his term? I mean, obviously, he'll want to make sure that it keeps functioning. But is there anything else that's been identified yet that he wants to achieve during his term?
Yeah, no, there are things that he has identified, but he is going to be putting it out there on when he does his first press conference next week, sometime next week, yeah.
We look forward to that. Kaizer Kganyago, I appreciate the time. Thank you very much indeed. The spokesperson, he's just in the job. I don't know if he regrets it yet, as the National Prosecuting Authority. Kaizer, thanks very much indeed.